It's Hannah.
And Trevor.
And it's Disney Pinsomniac. And today we're going to give you a review of our experience at Disney Tokyo Sea. Amazing theme park, and we want to tell you all about it. We want to talk to you a little bit about our experience at Tokyo DisneySea, so you might be able to know kind of what to expect. The first thing is, just like anyone else is going to tell you online, make sure you get there early. There's things that you're going to want to do with the app that you're going to want to make sure you reserve. We are not going to spend all of this time telling you about every single step to log in and know about how to be prepared, because we do not live there. We are not experts in there. So we're just going to mostly focus on what we thought was amazing and what was worth being there and experiencing in this very unique theme park. There are many amazing creators out there that will tell you the line by line every step that you should be taking, and we'll link one or two of those below that can give you some comprehensive, if you are going to go to Tokyo DisneySea, what you should do to prepare. We're just going to talk about the fun experience we had and everything that was enjoyable about the time that we spent there.
We decided to go to Tokyo DisneySea over Tokyo Disneyland because it's entirely unique. There's only one DisneySea in the entire world, and it's located in Tokyo, and we've heard that it is the best, or one of the best theme parks in the world.
We wanted to go somewhere unique and somewhere that was hailed as the best of the world, obviously, and that's Tokyo DisneySea. It has 7 unique ports, and now with the addition of Fantasy Springs, it will have 8 ports. So this is instead of lands, but it's basically different areas on the sea. So we have the Mediterranean harbor, I got my cheat sheet little poster that I'm going to hang on our wall. Mediterranean harbor, the American waterfront, Port Discovery, Lost River Delta, Mermaid Lagoon, Arabian Coast, and the Mysterious Island. Those 7, and then Fantasy Springs. So all of those areas are themed around like basically a place you could get to on a boat, basically, as a simplification. And this means that you get to experience some of the best theming that I think any theme park has to offer. If you're wanting the Cinderella Castle moment, you're not going to get it here. There is no castle. Yeah. But you do get a volcano, and I do feel like that kind of makes up for the lack of a castle. Now, some people will say that the Disney feel isn't there the same way as other Disney parks. I think that that's maybe a little bit misleading. If your Disney feel is seeing lots of characters and princesses and walking around and like having like bippity boppity boutique moments, then like, yeah, it's not gonna feel like that. If you want the experience where it's clean, you enjoy rides, music, experiences, and it feels magical, I do think that the Disney magic is definitely still here. It's just gonna show up a little bit different than maybe one of the other parks would, which might mean that it's not your favorite park, but this is definitely one of the coolest places I've ever been to. So I just want to give a real quick rundown of all of the rides we ran. We ran them. I actually conducted them. I am in charge of the rides.
So when we were at DisneySea, we rode Indiana Jones, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Elsa and Anna Frozen Adventure in Fantasy Springs.
The Railroad.
Raging Spirits, Aquatopia, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Magic Carpets, Scuttlebutt, and the Flounder Fish ride. We also rode the Tower of Terror. That was the first one. That was the first one we rode.
So we ended up doing a ride in every single port. That was actually one of my goals, except for the Mediterranean harbor, which is partly because there's only like 2 rides in the Mediterranean harbor, and one of them is the gondolas, and the gondolas close a lot during the day because all of the like parade type events happen on the water, and when that happens you can't do the gondolas. But we rode something in the American waterfront, we rode something in Port Discovery, 2 things in Lost River Delta, we rode a few things in Mermaid Lagoon, Arabian Coast we rode something, and same with, I don't know why I'm telling you, we rode all of them. We rode things in all of the lands except for in the Mediterranean harbor. And if we go back, I for sure want to ride the gondolas because I think it's really fun and romantic and would be really awesome to get the chance to do. But unfortunately, with the time, if there's something you want to do, just as a general rule in DisneySea, you got to prioritize it because there are a lot of scheduling things that are going to make it a little bit difficult. The parks are not as open as late as American parks are, and there are blocked out times when certain things won't be available available. So you just got to know if you want to do something like the gondolas, you got to make it a priority. So that's one of the downsides I would say about the park, is that it's just not going to be as long of an experience as if you go to Disney World. You can really stay like an absurd amount of time there. It's going to end earlier at DisneySea.
The theming is like some of the best ever.
Amazing.
It's really amazing, and everything is just so well laid out and looks really great. It's obviously very clean. I think that's just generally any Disney park you go to. I think it's going to be like that generally. The food was really good.
Food was amazing. We have a whole video about all the food we linked down below if you're interested in that.
And the rides were short.
And in Japanese.
Which but
you would expect.
We really didn't, contrary to what we had heard a lot, we didn't really wait in a lot of lines because I think we did like the fast pass equivalent. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why. But it was honestly like, as far as waiting in queues, was probably like the shortest we've ever done on any trip. But that's because in part we did the fast pass.
And because I was willing to pay $15 for individual lightning lanes, basically, which is kind of pricey.
It's pricey.
And then also because of Fantasy Springs, the longest line that we did wait in, and we did wait for about an hour for the brand new Anna and Elsa ride.
Yeah.
Which I think is to be expected if you're getting a first sneak peek of a brand new ride. I think you expect to wait about an hour. That doesn't seem surprising to me at all.
Yes.
So the food was amazing. All of the stories for all of the rides, I think, are unparalleled. It was amazing to see that every single ride had its own part of the story of DisneySea. Mm-hmm. So Tower of Terror had its own connection to another ride. That ride had a connection to another ride. There's all these interconnected things that all have to do with this theme of discovery and adventure at DisneySea, which was really, really cool. Now, another really fun thing about DisneySea, besides the food and the rides and the theming and the story, is the character's Duffy. Now, I did not understand Duffy before coming to DisneySea. But if you notice, we got the ears where Duffy stands all the way. And I have to tell you, it doesn't make sense until you're there. I have no good explanation.
It's its own thing. It's its own thing entirely.
There's a story and characters and moments where you can take pictures with your stuffed Duffy in the park, and honestly, my favorite thing about Duffy was how much everyone else loved Duffy.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Made me love Duffy.
He's everywhere.
His origin story actually starts in DisneySea, and so it's important to know that there's more Duffy merch there than in any of the other parks, and you get a little special extra Duffy magic because you are there in his origin story. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're like, who the hell is Duffy? That's okay. I'll explain really quickly. Duffy is the Disney bear. There's a cute little story basically about how they've decided to make a story about why they should sell teddy bears.
Yeah.
But that's the cynical version. The true magical Disney story is that Mickey needed to go on a sea adventure, and Minnie made him a bear, and the bear, to keep him company while she was missing him and he was missing her, was named Duffy. And Duffy is a sailor to take you on your adventures throughout all of DisneySea. At least that's how I take it as, is that Duffy is my companion on all the adventures everywhere I'm going to be going. Now, we had to get the ears because Trevor just looks so stupid cute in these ears. He put them on and I couldn't resist. I was like, those are coming.
I wanted to get them before we even went. So that's not even the full story.
He looks so cute, and I was like, actually, I want some too. And so now we have Duffy ears, and they make me really happy. It was a really special thing. It's just like, again, the love that people have for DisneySea is really special. Like, the people know all of the songs, people camp out for the shows, the staff, the cast members were singing all of the songs and doing the dances with the...
specific dances for the songs. I was like, whoa.
It's really like
people knew them. The guests knew the dances.
Yeah, it felt like a community experience where everyone was there to enjoy and feel in the love of all of it, right? And so for that reason, I don't know if that's just Duffy, if that's Disney, I don't know what it is, but that made me love Duffy. Now, changing gears a little bit, what would you say is your favorite port that we experienced?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that I liked a few for different reasons. I thought that Mysterious Island was really unique and different, and I liked that, how it was... I can remember what it looks like, and it was very distinct and kind of unique, I thought.
There's not a lot there, but the theming is really excellent.
It's really
all
different.
steampunk. It takes you into like whoever wrote 2000 Leagues Under the Sea. You're in that book basically.
Yeah,
it's a very like unique place. I've never been somewhere like that.
But I also liked, the American waterfront was really cool too.
We do have to say that we loved the American waterfront a little bit in part because it looks like New York.
Yes.
And so it was really fun because I saw the MTA, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, on the wall. I took a picture with my Metro card next to the MTA sign. There were signs that said "Curb Your Dog," which is a funny New York expression. I also loved that one of the streets, the elevated train tracks are there, just like here in New York. And specifically, I work on a street named Broadway that is underneath some elevated train tracks. So I did have to get a picture of me next to Broadway with the elevated street cars or the elevated train cars that go over it. And the railroad actually does use the elevated train tracks, so that's kind of fun. That was really cool. I just love seeing an interpretation of American culture like that, and I would say it's the like best parts of American culture that we're showing there, which I really loved.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. It was very cool.
The Mermaid Lagoon, everyone always talks about it, and it is hard to describe how cool it is when you actually are there.
True. That's very true. I agree.
In pictures, it doesn't quite do it justice, but I remember when we walked in, I was like kind of blown away. It just is, it feels like you're in a kid's daydream. Like my childhood self would have lost their mind there. It's like it's really cool. And my adult self was just like, wow, this is super cool. Really like fun theming. Wouldn't be my favorite place to hang out for the day because all the rides are kind of kid rides, but it was a really cool like theming experience, immersiveness, and again, unlike anything I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
The Lost River Delta, I loved the 2 rides that were there that we went on. I don't know how they got the water to be on fire, but it was so cool. They had some amazing special effects.
Yeah, that was really cool to see that.
It was really cool. And then, of course, Fantasy Springs is next level theming as well.
Good. I was going to say, Fantasy Springs also is like one of the highlights for me.
We have found that when we enjoy Disney the most, it's not when we're trying to slam the most amount of things into a day, but it's just the experience of walking around in a place where we can look and just do what we feel, take a snack, walk around, and like wander. And I do feel like this park is really like made for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool and suddenly you're over here and you didn't know that you were going to see this other thing, and it's all like this very like cool immersive experience where you really get to just enjoy being on an adventure throughout the day. And I do think that makes it a really unique park. In many ways, I feel like it is a little bit like Disneyland in that way. Disney World, I feel like for me, the scaling is just not as good, and so the theming is not as good. Yeah. But Disneyland and DisneySea have that like unfoldingness to it as you're walking through and you're experiencing the theming that is really, really special. I think the only downsides that I would say of it is just that the park closes really early, and your husband doesn't want to stay there as long as you do.
Yeah, that is truly a universal issue, isn't it?
The park just is closed a little bit earlier, which is fine. I have no problem with it, but it does make the experience feel, I felt a little bit rushed. And then there's not a lot of parades. So if you're someone who is like a parade or like, character person, I don't know if you would necessarily love how little of that there is. They have some character dining experiences, and then they have some shows that you can go and see, but you have to like actively seek that out, which is actually kind of similar to Disney World in that way. Disneyland, you'll run into characters in this very authentic way. It's very cool. Disney World, not as much. And similarly, DisneySea, not as much. You have to like actively plan to have those experiences. But that also kind of explains why everyone knows all the songs to all of the shows and is like ready to do everything, because they have gone and seen those characters and they know the theme song and the next parts of like whole crowds of people watching characters do certain moves and doing them with you in front of a giant fake steamboat. I mean, just a really cool experience.
How does it compare to other parks that you've been to?
The theming is like amazing. I think Disneyland still wins for me, but this is so much better than Disney World. It's not even funny. And Disneyland only beats it out slightly because of the pure nostalgia that I have for Disneyland. I think if you don't have that nostalgia, then this is, unless you need a castle to have a good day, this is gonna be better probably.
Yeah. What do you think about DisneySea?
Are you planning on making a trip? We'd love to hear your thoughts down below and let us know which of the things that we talked about is what you would be looking forward to seeing or doing the most. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!